This is a preliminary test of the board for the Rotor-ez. I put in the high gain controllers. I just built this board, and this is the test apparatus. See, I've butchered up a controller, and it's all just temporarily connected so I can test it. And if I move, doggone it, one of my wires pulled off. These clips are kind of a pain in the ass, but it's a easy way to hook up to it. You can see the lights on, and it is on. It's turned all the way to the south counterclockwise, so it operates just like normal. And the little brake light means the brake is still okay. There, it just latched. See, I'm using an old 8-wire rotor, but it don't have a brake on it. But the brake light lights up. That means that the brake is working. Now I'll turn it back the other way, and you can see it does fully operate as intended. The brake light is still lit. Now it's off. Now, here's the point and shoot option if I can do this without dropping any wires off of it. Let's say I want to point it to west. I hit the brake. Now it's turning clockwise. It's going to turn up there to W and then quit. And now let's move it to north. And I want to show you something. These Rotor-ez's does a little thing. Watch the rotor. I wasn't quick enough. Got to be real quick when you hit that brake. Come on. What happened? Huh. Well, might not like that. Let's go back the other way. In a perfect world, this isn't the most perfect antenna rotator. Let's try that again now. Turn it to west. Watch the rotor. See it do a little backstroke? It does that just in case there's a load against it, and it'll back it up and release the brake. Okay. Now, here's the Rotor-ez program. First thing you want to do is whenever you install Ham Radio Deluxe, is open up your Ham Radio Deluxe and go into Tools and hit Rotator. And let's see if I can find where you set up. Well, first of all, you got to have it set at north, right there, north. Or you're going to have yours set at south there, Mike, so you're going to stick it over there on south. But anyway, for my instance, I've got it set at north. I got to find where you set up the location. Been so long since I used this. View, display. You got to go in here and set your GPS so that this program knows where you're at. Bear with me. Maybe home page. No, that's not it. Maybe options. Oh, here we go. Options. Your information. You click on options. This opens up your information. there's where you put your longitude and latitude so that this thing knows where it's at. Now you'll see that I'm in Colorado. When you first start this up, you're going to be down in here somewhere. But whenever you put your longitude and latitude, you'll be in Ohio. And you put your USB to 230 RS-235 connector in, hook it all up, and there is an installed disc that you'll get with the cable. It's right there. It's in that little bag. And make sure that you find your comm where it connects. You can see it's connected, and it says COM 3. And of course, I got this laptop set for COM 3. Once you get everything all set up, it should point where it's pointing at. See, there's Australia. Let's say you want to talk to New Zealand. Put your mouse down there on New Zealand. It does this little backstroke. Now it's turning to New Zealand. Now the brake just went off. Now this system knows that it's north pointing, so it cannot go all the way around here to South Africa. It knows it can't go that way. So let's go over here and click on, let's say England. Now watch this. I'll back up a little bit. This system knows it's got to go all the way around north and go over to England. And that's just the north. Stop position is north. Now let's go switch it to south, because that's the way yours is going to be, Mike. South. Now south pointing. Let's go back over here to, let's go right here. See, it knows it can swing that way going south. It's pretty beneficial to people whenever they don't talk across the pole. And then, of course, if you go up here to England, it's going to keep right on swinging the same way. The one drawback to this is, if you want to talk to somebody up here in, like, Washington State, it knows it has to swing all the way around to where, if it was north pointing, it would just go right to it. Some advantages, some disadvantages. And you can see the little gizmo over there is telling you also where your antenna is pointing. I'm just going to get right over there to where my mouse was. It's all approximate, of course. For where you wanted to get down to the gnats behind, you could figure out the locator and put in their grid location and click on that arrow, and it'd send the antenna right to where they're at. But that's it in a nutshell. But this is my little test apparatus to make sure I've got the board assembled right. And yeah, kind of looks like crap. That's an old meter I put in it because I wanted to steal the meter out of it for another radio. That's just an old one out of an old control box. But it still works just like it did. Now, one thing I do want to show, well, let's go back this way. You don't ever want to go past its limit. Now I'll show you. It's going to go all the way to the south. It's going to go up against the end of rotation switch. Now I'm going to turn it this way just a little bit. I don't want it to go that far. I just want it to go a little bit. You'll see it don't do a jiggy joggy. That's because it's all the way up against it. It's possible it could hang up in that position if you crank it beyond its limit. Okay, now I'm going to crank it all the way over there by itself. See, it did this little backstroke. Now it'll turn until it goes to where it's going and quit. And you can actually turn it manually just a little bit more. So we're going to turn it back just a little bit, hit the button. See, it still does this backstroke. But if you go up until it's dead ends, it ain't got that backstroke. And it's possible it could hang up. So there you go, Mr. Fireman Mike, World Radio 1821, Chillicothe, Ohio. I'll get that all installed in your control box. Well, my control box. I'm going to send you one of mine, and it is south pointing, and test it all out when it's in the box, and then ship it to you. Here is the one I'm putting it in. It's the south pointing as well. I don't know if you can see that through the reflection. But I got to punch holes in it and everything for the lights that I put in it. But got half of everything that's out of it, because that board goes on the end of the meter, backside of it right there. So whenever this is all wired up, you'll be good to go. Got to punch a hole in the back panel here to run the cord out for the RS-232. I'll probably punch another hole right in here somewhere so I can put a bolt through it so you can ground it. You want to run a ground to it. Damn thing caught my shirt. But that's it. Okay.